Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and a former cellmate of Jeffrey Epstein. He's just leveled a bombshell about the late, disgraced financier, and you're going to want to hear it. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. Do you believe Jeffrey Epstein offed himself? Do you believe he did that? Do you believe that he himself was responsible? Do you believe that the doctored footage that we've seen so far of his prison cell proves anything? I don't. I don't believe in any of that. I'm not saying he didn't off himself. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is something's suspicious here. Michael Franzese, a former mobster, he went on record, he was in that prison. He was in that prison with Epstein. He went on record saying it would be almost impossible to off yourself in that particular prison cell block because there is so much security. They're always checking in on you. You don't have a moment's peace. And we're supposed to believe that Jeffrey Epstein did what he did, and from a place where it would be really hard to do it from. It doesn't make a lot of sense when you look at the facts as they stand. Dan Bongino says he believes it, and I tend to trust Dan Bongino. But how do I know he got all the evidence? How do I know stuff isn't being kept from him? This whole thing stinks. This whole thing stinks, and I'm not sure the Trump administration is getting all the information it needs. I think maybe the administration prior maybe got rid of some stuff. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But I want answers. I want you to listen to what Mr. Franzese had to say here, and let me know what you think in the comments.
Joined now by someone, and this is interesting, with intimate knowledge of the very jail cell Epstein died in. Michael Franzese. He was a capo for the Colombo crime family in the 1980s. He served time in the exact cell where Epstein was later held. Michael, welcome back to the program. Tell us about that cell, and what do you make of these revelations that there is a minute missing from the surveillance video, Michael?
Well, listen, I spent 7 months on that tier and in those cells. And the first thing I have to say, there's no way you are able to commit suicide. There's just no way. There's no way to hang yourself. There's nothing from the ceiling. There's nothing from the bed. You'd have to be a midget and work really hard to try to hang yourself. And I don't think you can accomplish it at that point. As far as the cameras being off, I haven't experienced that. I did 8 years in prison, and I haven't experienced cameras being broken in the perfect storm of correctional officers not walking those cells. They walk in and they look in on you all the time. As a matter of fact, sometimes it's embarrassing to go to the toilet because they're walking past you and looking in the cell constantly. So I've said this from day one. I do not believe it was suicide. I can't talk about what happened to him, but I don't believe it was a suicide because you just couldn't physically do it. It would be almost impossible to do it. So that's number one.
It must be interesting, Michael, when you look at the video, though, it must be interesting because you know the area. I mean, we all look at this and it just looks like a prison, but this must look very familiar to you.
Absolutely. Very familiar. And the fact that a minute is missing, look, everything around this guy, I just did a very deep dive into him, which I'll be releasing on my platform in the next several days. Look, there's no way that this person operated alone. Look, they have the videos. Alan Dershowitz recently said that he saw the client list, but because there's people that he can't, because he's an attorney, he can't, reveal what he saw. But he said he saw the client list. He's demanding